Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this session. I promise you there will be a lot of fireworks. We are here to discuss a topic that has been in the news for a while now, actually, for over a year. The question whether India is intolerant. Of course, for 5,000 years, this has been a civilization that has been what we know to be an accommodative and absorptive civilization. We have taken in people, we've taken in cultures, religions, and made them our own. So what exactly are we talking about when we talk about being intolerant? So I will start the session by putting out the premise of the discussion. I will then call upon the speakers to make a few opening remarks. We will then take it forward with a discussion between the speakers. Then we will throw it open for questions and comments from the audience. Let's begin.
Can we have more light in the auditorium?
We would like to see a little more of your faces. So maybe if we can, I think, yeah, we can. Yeah, we can only see the lights and we cannot see you, and that's not a very good thing. Thank you. Maybe just a little more. Excellent. That's right. That's much, much better. We'd much rather see you. As I said, we've been discussing this subject now, some would say ad nauseum, for the last year and a half, whether India is intolerant, whether the government is intolerant, whether we as a people are intolerant, do we or do we not want to live with in our diverse culture? Do we not want to live in our diversity? Should we tell people what to wear, what to eat, how to travel? Or should the government get into this entire tolerance debate? A bigger question, I think, would be for us to sift through the noise. And I have to say, being part of the media, that there is a lot of noise, to sort of sift through it and to see which part of this intolerance debate is politically motivated, which part of it is social intolerance, which part of it is a consequence of the rapid evolution of India's society, moving from a traditional society to a modern society, and the strains it puts on traditional practices and habits, people, customs, relationships. What constitutes intolerance? Whether it is it when you beat a horse, or when you pull a dentist out of his house and beat him to death, whether you kill a person for eating a certain kind of meat, whether you whether you kill a person for eating beef, and whether you what do you do when people raise slogans and make speeches in university campuses which are incendiary. So what do you do with all of that? To discuss all of this here today, I will begin with Kiran Bedi, who will take the stage first, following which we will move to the other speakers. Ms. Bedi.
Can I go there?
Yes.
Thank you, friends. I'll come straight to the point. First of all, it's a very impressive event. I've been reading a lot about it on the social network. So congratulations. You've done it exceedingly well this year. On the subject, I read a lot, I thought a lot, I reflected a lot. But my views changed last 48 hours. And two incidents changed, are making me take this track, which I'm taking on tolerance. The ones before and yesterday. They have the answers to the question, I believe. The dentist pulped to death in the north, the accident victims left to die in Mysore in the south. Let's look at these incidents let me look at the incident from the dentist point of view. And these are all points, my friends, rather than a script. You had a brawl, boys came home, instigated by mother, got friends who were fish sellers, had past records of brawls, poor schooling, unreported brawls earlier, some reported, neighbors afraid due to past experience of brawls, therefore they were unreported. Boys are new rich, they just got e-rickshaws. Attitude of entitlement, pampered by local leaders, slums plus mixed, minority plus numbers. Lanes encroached, causing death, daily brawls, back to entitlement, no planning, no enforcement, assurances of no enforcement. I'm privy to those where people were many times assured, अगर हमको वोट दोगे, जहाँ पटरी है वहीं रहेगी, जहाँ झुग्गी है वहीं रहेगी, जहाँ दुकान extended है वहीं रहेगी. So there was assurances of no enforcement. So fear was looming large. You had daily brawls, you had protection with impunity, which emboldened. Second incident of Mysuru. We are grooming indifference where people were left to die and nobody picked them up on the way. Amazing situation of intolerance or tolerance, whichever side you take. We are grooming, I believe, huge amount of indifference. We are grooming selfishness. We are grooming transactional service. We are grooming not giving, not service, education of entitlements again, rights without responsibilities. We are grooming free services, free water, free bijli pani, free Wi-Fi, free food, even free food, everything taken for granted. And being advised not to earn, but desire, not to deserve. So that's where these two incidents have made me change my mind. I thought I would give you, because these are all even fresh in your memory, of what are we living with? What are we creating? What are we grooming? So what promotes tolerance? I asked myself. Tolerance, my friends, is a part of a value chain. It's a part of civility. It's part of respect for elders. It's about learning patience. It's about learning confidence. It's about concerns. It's about sacrifice. It's about giving. Who teaches, I asked myself, who teaches this tolerance? Mother, father, schools, local leaders. But the local leaders are not social workers. They're basically political workers, hence very transactional. And the faith institutions. I'm not sure the faith institutions teach you what, but these are the people who are responsible for teaching tolerance or intolerance. And then the media. Media plays a very important role. In the media, you have a social network and the formal network, which projects more negativity rather than balancing it. Media projects hate speeches for days together. So media projects and promotes hate speech, or lets the hate speech become internalized. It's deeply, and it's already truly made converted, it's politicized completely. So we discuss hate speech, we hear hate speech, and we start tolerating it. So not speeches which promote peace, promote harmony and development. When I'm changing a channel, I hear hate speech being given all the space, but somewhere speeches are very peaceful, promoting harmony, development. They have no space on our television or on our media. So messages given, which is fast forward, my friends, is that you want to be a quick leader, you want to be a fast forwarded leader, then do a hate speech, stay on the channel, continue to give interviews, and then become visible. And then the politician goes to you for 2 minutes visibility. So be visible for good reasons, for the wrong reasons. It continues to saying this is the way to hate speech. So friends, it's sensationalizing. We are more on sensationalism, not restraint. We're promoting the show of violence, not peace. I think we more of noise than reflection. So rights rather than responsibilities, impatient to be if it is destructive. So easiest way is to break the law. I've seen it. Get yourself water cannoned, lie on the floor, make a speech from a bus, get yourself lathi charged, refuse the bail, go to jail, come out and share what happened, and go on to repeat it till you assume power. And now you can pay for it. So use all unethical means to keep in the news, because now you can pay for it. So what can we reverse? That's my concluding remark. How can we reverse it? First of all, regular tolerance training in schools. Regular tolerance, I'm not saying compulsorily. Training, teaching regular training classes or tolerance training in schools. Explain the prayer at least. The children who sing that prayer, explain the prayer. The prayer which you're singing, let not it be a ritual. Explain the meaning of the prayer. Regular community service. Link yourself in any form. Like, for instance, my foundation called Navjyoti India Foundation. It's run in the slums of Bhavana and Narela. Children are a gurukul. The older child is reaching out to a younger child in education programs. It's already involved into community service in any form. So you can work with old age homes, anywhere, be a community service. Regular marks for service project. Value education by doing, not reading or yawning what is going on. It's actually by doing. Community service. So it's back to roots of learning. And most of all is the rule of law. Whatever has broken the law, nobody needn't interfere with it. Let us not politicize breaking of rule of law. Not allowing, like for instance, we've recently had, I don't wish to mention names, where there is a law breaking, that's as the law says is, let rule of law prevail. And most of all, is corrective bails of the kind we've had in the recent past by the High Court judge, which was a conditional bail. I think these are two new developments. One is rule of law. Secondly, respect for rule of law, not interfering with the rule of law, and certainly a trend towards conditional bails. Thank you very much.
I think we have a lot to think about beyond this, beyond just being a political system, or how do we foster tolerance among our children? And that is exactly the place to begin, with your parents, in schools, in society. To take the debate forward, let me call on Lakshmi Tripathi. Up to you, but go right ahead.
Okay, I'll stand up.
Yeah. Lakshmi, I'm sure, will give you certainly a very different perspective on the whole debate.
Good evening, everybody. I hope it's evening, right? Good evening. Thank you so much. Dignitaries, my ladies on the stage. Taslima ji, I'm really a big fan of you, you know. And my darling, Kiran ji, you're super darling for me, you know. And our lady in blue. We have always seen men in blue, no? So even ladies can be in blue. That's why we bought Taslima ji between us both. At least the frame would look beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, now coming to tolerance, it has always been funny for me even when this debate started. Who started it? And why did it start? For me, India had never been tolerant. Because after 317 years, we had to go to the Supreme Court to even get our identity as Indian to be recognized by the Supreme Court of India. So with society, I should talk tolerant. Now for me, there is a two-way of lens, no? The so-called mainstream society and my community. Am I right? Yes or no? Hannah, but okay, fine. Tolerant India. What India we are looking at? Religious India? Secular India? India where now even the preamble of this country wants to be changed and 21, 22 words have been removed and trying to replace. The constitution has been tried to be again written in a very different hemispheres. Casteism, which I don't, in urban sector, we hardly realize, what is caste. But in rural India, caste has always been there because I have been born in an Orthodox Brahmin family. And in my village, we are from Gorakhpur. And I had seen caste right in my summer holidays to everywhere, where caste system was so strongly there. And that time nobody spoke about it. There is policing, morality. When morality was already injected in our society thanks to the Britishers, tolerance was lost. Make in Bharat is there, no? Make in India, Swachh Bharat. These things, how much include the real Indians in it? How much does the GDP growth of a country gets benefited to the person staying in that jungle, the Adivasis to tribals? What a paradox. Then comes the religion. For me, the education system. Kiranji really said very good. The education system is ruined in this country, and I thought this new government would really do something. But our education minister is not interested in that. Rather, the caste issue comes up, and children, today I didn't see the doctor was beaten, Mysore incident, but incidents which are going for months is still bragging that how students have been beaten in Hyderabad, how people are forced to kill themselves because of caste. Is that society what we are looking out for? Where the government itself decides what the school should be teaching. Where adolescence education in itself is one question mark. In the name of religion, at times I'm a Hindu Brahmin child, but I am a Hijra. Hijra means you leave your own tribe and you go in search of your real self. So I'm no more a Hindu, I'm no more a Brahmin, I'm a Hijra. So rather we are much more secular than the secular India, what it is, and that has been always there. Now the worst thing when we talk about, I have a background of HIV AIDS, and when we spoke about sex education, there are so many states in this country, in this world, where Sunny Leon is one of the Bollywood stars, and she's a good friend of mine. I appreciate that woman for whatever guts she has to do in her life, and she's successful, And now over here you talk about adolescents education program, that it shouldn't be there. Moralistic. Then VHP will decide, RSS will decide, and then some BJP parties or some other local parties, not only BJP, all are in the same bag, or feathers of the same birds flock together. So these all, I'm non-political, means what can I do? There is no dignified position for me in politics, There is no tolerance in the political parties itself. There is no gender balance in them. If there was gender balance after 2.5 years, nearly 2.5 years, right? Whatever. With full majority in the parliament, they cannot pass the women's bill till now. What tolerant India we will make? We talked about so much of Justice Verma rape case happened, Nirbhaya happened in this Delhi, and we all were marching. Yeah, this should be done, that should be done. Where is the program when you will teach your children with their gender respect should be there? What is gender? What is sexuality? That our children don't know. Now, 5th standard child knows everything. If you Google anybody, everything is smartphone is in everybody's hand. What hypocritical world the political leaders have created for their own benefits. And then we talk about tolerant India. For me, it is really sad that why we talk even about tolerant India, because we have become puppets in the hand of the ruling parties or the non-ruling parties, or whom we become loyal to. India will become a good society when every Indian will realize voting is so important and that vote shouldn't be sold. We sell our votes, and then we want that our political leaders should be non-corrupt. आज तक मुझे नहीं समझा है कि 100 crore rupees को इलेक्शन में डाल देता है जीतने के लिए, तो वो हमारे लिए क्या काम करेगा? और बाद में हम कहते वो लोग करप्ट हैं. Our society should stop selling our votes. Then only we can say that we are true Indians in every sense. I really feel sad what happened in Hyderabad. I really feel sad when today also on the Google map you search anti-nationals, then JNU gate is shown. You can't disown your own children. कहते हैं ना हिंदी में कहावत है, होठ भी मेरे दांत भी मेरे, मैं किसको काटूं और किसको चबाऊं. जब सब अपने ही आंगन के फूल हैं और आने वाला हमारा कल है, the coming generation, so it is necessary that the political leaders, I think so, there should be age limit decided, they should retire. It should be young India, in true young India, in the definition of what is youth. I don't understand, they sit in their AC halls, the bureaucrats also, and they don't know what is on the ground level. The judiciary, I'm really sorry to say, hierarchy in the judiciary is still there. It's the same judiciary, hasn't been reformed yet. The police reforms haven't been put in place yet. Kiran Bedi would also agree with it. Yeah. When you cannot reform your basic infrastructure, what I was really shocked at times, that the judges don't know what is basic things. And the greatest thing that our country lacks is that we don't teach our children our constitution in our schools. What rights we are talking about? Did we ever have rights? There is no right even till the date. Right is only in the hands, like first, education was only in the hands of these Brahmins. And they manipulated and they behaved it according to the entire society, and the caste system came in. Okay, fine, India has caste, other countries have racism. So there is not a big deal about many things. The problem over here, rights is only known to those educated people who want to know the rights. We should teach what is our constitution in our schools. We should teach what the law, how a sex worker's dignity is as equal to the dignity of President of India. We all stand equal in front of the law. Why your moralistic ideas? Means I really feel ashamed, some leaders stand and comment, parliament में बैठते हैं, वोट्स लेके आते हैं, वो खाक पंचायत से भी बुरे लीडर्स हैं. They call students of colleges, they are prostitutes. Hello? Prostitutes are better than you. They keep their words. Then it becomes, then some Bollywood star comes up, and always people even get the best awards in this country for even praising people, I don't know when the work will be really taken in consideration. I don't understand. The problem lies with us, that we don't stand up and take our rights. See, what I believe, right is my birthright, and I shall have it. I shall preserve it with dignity. And I won't let anybody ruin that right of mine. But what? I'm educated, so I know my right. It's 2014, 15th of August. The Supreme Court passed this landmark judgment for the transgender. In spite of this government being in place, for a full majority government, nothing has been done for the transgender community. Section 377, which is the Britishers' archival law, is still over here. And I believe people who talk about making India, people who talk about India, people who talk about Bharat Maa ki Jai, they only ruin our culture. They only still take the baggages of Britishers on their shoulders and are proud to flaunt it in the name of morality. Then we talk about tolerant India. Why should I even be, it's absurd why the state or the political leaders should be peeping in my bedroom. I don't peep in their bedroom, know what they are doing? Hello?
Lovely.
You know, one more point, yeah, about, you know, this very, तुमने मुझे टोक के कुछ तो मैं भूल गई, you know. No, but it's okay. See, the best example is that I have been very closely, for me, you know, it's best. BJP भी मेरा काम करती है, कांग्रेस भी करती है, आम आदमी भी करती है, मैं जहाँ पे जाऊँगी, otherwise I have my sexuality, I have the best use. कोई नहीं करेगा, मैं 5,000 हिजड़ों को नंगा मार्च लेके जाऊँगी, प्रिंसेस ऑफ नेकेडेसी. समाज ने वैसे ही हमारा चीर हरण किया. हमारी तो एक निर्भया हुई तो इतना बवाल हुआ, हमारी निर्भया 10 निर्भया पूरे भारतवर्ष में रोज हो जाती हैं. Because we are considered a sexual toy in the mainstream society. The problem of tolerant and intolerant comes secondary. The basic foundation of this country has to become to the originality of us being the real Indians, not what the Britishers have given to us. Morality was never an Indian quality. Now moral policing is there. Now moral politics is there. Politics for vote bank is there. You put caste and do politics. When we Indians realize this in true sense and stop selling our votes, then only we can talk about our society being tolerant. This country and this land was a celebration of every human being, immaterial to your sexuality, to your gender. We had space for everybody. The problem is that few people, in the wake of holding powers, have literally made Indians fools in name of many brackets of words what they have placed in the society. And one of the beautiful tagline is India tolerant or intolerant? It is we to decide whether we make it tolerant or intolerant. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lakshmi. Teaching the Indian Constitution in schools, excellent idea. To take this debate again forward, I will call upon Taslima Nasreen, who describes herself as the only truly secular person. She has a unique take on the issue that we are discussing today, and I will leave it to her to take this forward.
Thank you. I think that many people in Indian society, like any other society, are intolerant. This is a misogynistic, patriarchal society. Most men are intolerant towards women. Upper caste people are intolerant against lower caste people. Rich people are intolerant against poor people. And heterosexual people are intolerant against homosexual and transgender people. But I don't want to say that India is intolerant, because India's constitutions and laws are not intolerant. Many people, especially intellectuals, writers, journalists, are very angry with Hindu fundamentalists because some Hindu fundamentalists killed some Muslims for eating beef. They also killed rationalists and humanists. Kalburgi, Pansare, Davalkar were killed. It's not intolerance. I think it's a heinous crime to kill people for eating beef, to kill people for having different ideas. Dadri incidents we know, and also a few days ago we know that 2 Muslim men were killed, brutally killed by some Hindu fanatics. So because of some bad incidents, I don't want to call 1.24 billion people of India intolerant. Some people are intolerant everywhere. I lived in a Scandinavian country where I think that people enjoy human rights and women have rights and freedom. Still, over there, many people are intolerant. So it is not very unusual that some people are intolerant, but those people should be educated, and we should teach them not to be intolerant. And there are good laws, and they can be punished. But you know what I have seen here, intellectuals and writers always criticize Hindu fundamentalists for their crimes, but they do not criticize Muslim fundamentalists. Muslim fanatics also commit crimes here in India. We talk about Dadri, but we don't talk about Malda. In Malda, a few months ago, Muslim fanatics, burned vehicles, they burned many Hindu shops and houses, but media do not talk about those Malda incidents. And also Muslim fundamentalists issue fatwas against women and writers. For example, some Muslim fundamentalists set price on my head, and no fundamentalist was arrested for this crime. Because I have heard, that politicians here appease Muslim fundamentalists. So if you appease Muslim fundamentalists for votes, then it cannot be true democracy. Many people also say that Muslim minorities in India are really oppressed. I have seen minorities in my country. Hindu minorities are oppressed in Bangladesh. I know about minorities in Pakistan. Hindu minority in Pakistan are oppressed, also Christian minority community. People are oppressed there. They have blasphemy law. This blasphemy law is often used against Christians, minority Christians in Pakistan. And many Christians are getting killed in Pakistan. And many Hindus in my country, Bangladesh, were raped and they are tortured only for being Hindus. And many Hindus are leaving Bangladesh for India. But how many Muslims in India leave India for other Muslim countries? I think none. So it proves that India is tolerant, and those Muslims are actually, they don't decide to leave India for other countries, other Muslim countries, because they know that Muslims in those Muslim countries are not even in better situation. So compared to neighboring countries, Muslims as minority are enjoying their life, and also they have lots of opportunity to, as a citizen. But Hindus do not get the facilities that Muslims get in India. Hindus do not get in Bangladesh or Pakistan. So I have written a book called Lajja. There I showed how many Hindus are suffering in Bangladesh, and it is really pathetic. Every day, Hindu people are leaving Bangladesh. One day, the percentage, I am afraid, would be 0. So I'm happy that here Muslim minorities are having much better life than other minorities in neighboring countries. So I don't want to call India an intolerant country. I am an European citizen. I am having a green card for America, but I decided to live in India because I love India. It's a great country. I was thrown out of West Bengal in 2007. I am a Bengali writer. When I lived in Europe in exile for many years, I decided to live in Kolkata only because, the Bengali people live there. I could speak Bengali. Because I'm not allowed to return to my country, so I decided to live in West Bengal. But in 2007, after living there for more than 3 years, in 2007, I was forced to leave West Bengal because the politicians there wanted to appease Muslim fanatics. Those Muslim fanatics were against me. So they didn't think of me, that an exiled writer, love India so much, love Bengal so much, that wanted to live there. But I was thrown out of Bengal only because politicians wanted to appease not a Muslim community, just few Muslim fundamentalists. So many people ask me, why do I live in India? Because, I could live in the West anywhere I wanted. But I live in India because I love India, and I don't feel like an outsider in India. And I speak in one of the Indian languages. And also, my answer was that I know the name of the flowers in India.
Thank you, Taslima. I think that was a fitting finale to the 3 presentations. I would like to throw it open for questions. We have about 20 minutes. I'll take a few questions. The ones that I can see, do forgive me if I can't see all of you. The lights don't permit me to see everything. But keep your questions short and snappy. I'll take about 3 questions, and 3 to 4 questions, we'll answer them together. The lady in front there. Would you like to, is there a mic that you can access? Or why don't you rush up forward and ask the question? Why don't you take one of our mics?
Can you take this mic, please?
No, it's out there, out there.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Pallavi Mishra from Jaipur chapter. My question to you is, to the panel is this. Do you think the radical fanaticism that we see around is because people have stopped fearing punishment? Like there are people, because of what we believe as rule of law, and people going scot-free, Is it why people still do fanatic acts? Like in the recently, 35,000 crore worth of public property was damaged and no act was taken. As a business person, as a taxpayer of this country, 35, I mean like, I pay, I mean like, nothing was done. Nothing was done. Does that breed intolerance?
Thank you. Thank you. At the back. Can you just, yeah, at the back there, yeah. If you could identify yourself as well.
Your mic is not working.
My name is Ruben Sabrawal. My question is for Mrs. Bedi. Ma'am, I really respect your years in service, but my question is, how do you identify yourself as a tolerant person if the party who supports Genesis is essentially the Rath Yatra, whose current Prime Minister is at the very least implicit in the Gujarat riots, and Rajnath Singh believes homosexuality is unnatural and against our culture?
Thank you. The next question, out there at the back, the gentleman waving his arms. He's been waving his arms for a while.
Hello. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is Abhishek Chopra. I am from Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. My question is for Lakshmi ji. Ma'am, I really appreciate the courage and the as it is portrayal of whatever you wanted. Probably you have spoken the words from many of our minds here. And however, one thing that intrigues me is your statement regarding what happened in JNU. We cannot disown our children. Ma'am, I am really interested to know what in your point of view could the government have done to handle the JNU situation?
Thank you. Switch on the mic.
Utkarsh from Ahmedabad. My question is to Taslina ma'am. I feel like a feminist after reading your poem, Man Can, Woman Can't. And I have been following your writing, that you have been writing for the oppressed class, like the Hindus in Bangladesh or the women in all over the world and what they are facing. So according to you, what is actually the feminism or feminist, and how can you differentiate, and what made you write all like this?
Thank you. We'll answer the question. We'll answer these questions. We'll take another set of questions later. Ms. Bedi, would you like to take the first? Would you like to make the first?
I think the first question why was destruction tolerated when there was so much property destroyed? That's exactly what I was talking about, is the rule of law, the weakening of the rule of law over a period. Any other country, they would have been shot. When they were destroying and creating arson, they would have been shot. But they weren't. Because if they had been shot, you would have had very big collateral damage. And collateral damage then would have led to more of judicial inquiries, and the situations would have gone on. But the point is, why bring it to that level? So we have brought our rule of law to a very lachkila, flexible level, when it should not be. So we have to reverse the trend. If you ask me on the JNU incident, it was nothing but a breach of crime. JNU incident was a crime committed. That's it. And the whole issue became overblown because it was politicized. And then police was expected to go easy. Subsequently, it's a long story, I don't want to go into that. But that's the message. It's time we reverse it. If India has to become a better quality of life providing country as a nation, it must start respecting rule of law and accept no compromises, whoever it be, high or low. That's the only way. And Taslima has very beautifully said, Indian laws are tolerant. If you have the Article 19 of freedom of speech, the media must also talk about the clause of responsible speech. But when the media talks about freedom of speech, it forgets about harping on the clause which is responsible speech. So I think that's the message. So I think if we start getting that, India would become a better country even a better country to live.
Thank you. Lakshmi, I think that was a question.
Yeah. I believe JNU is far, far later. When India tolerated separatists going and sitting with our enemies and talking and getting all the support from them, and we could not even declare them anti-national, then you want to, I should rather believe उन पे देशद्रोह का कानून चला के उन पे केस करना चाहिए था. And still today we are pampering them. We should have put them to the gallows for trying to break and trying to poison the whole Kashmir issue and where the tension at the borders are still prevailing. We don't call them as traitors, we call them separatists, isn't it? And then, okay, fine, students, you know what I said to you, you asked me the question, how, according to me, students, okay, did, what crime they did, I don't know, freedom of speech, everybody speaks. When a politician can stand on a podium and in between lakhs of people can uproot dignity of complete women of this country, if they cannot be held responsible, what do you want the coming generation to be held responsible for?
Thank you.
And one more thing, the basic thing about law, the judiciary's autonomy has to be returned back to the judiciary. Rather, the judiciary at times I really feel becomes, I shouldn't be using these words, but I have freedom of speech. And I shall exercise it.
Absolutely.
Irresponsible. The judiciary, how many judgments have been irresponsibly taken in this Supreme Court of India and nobody pointed out at it? Am I right or wrong? Isn't it? So the basic thing is this country, yeah, the law should be treated, judiciary should have its own existence. It shouldn't be in the hands of the ruling party or it shouldn't be politically motivated. In India, when the basic pillars of democracy will be treated in its own autonomy, then only we will have true tolerance. And I believe that the JNU incident would have been taken, not politicized it. You know, it would have been in a very typical how you handle a university, it should be handled that way. Till now, we all are shouting about JNU. Till now, that poor child who committed suicide, we could not provide justice to them. And everybody to motivate, now JNU has become a hot potato. Now, tomorrow it will become, what is that? BHU will become, then Tata Institute of Social Sciences will become. And these all things will become it. But this all has to stop. Universities cannot be playground of politicians. University has to be a university. And it has to be dignifiedly treated in that fashion.
Thank you. I think we will give the last word to Taslima because we are running short of time and don't want to...
It's very sure. Someone asked me to talk about feminism. Feminism, to me, is a radical notion that women are human beings.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, I would love to take all your questions. We are at 00 on the clock. I can see the organizers getting excited. I'm afraid we will have to call it quits today, but thank you very much for being such a responsive audience. And my thanks to the speakers. I promised you a session with fireworks, and I think they have delivered. Thank you all, and have a great day. Thank you.
A big thank you to all the ladies on stage for making this event and this panel a successful one. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together. Ladies and gentlemen, this was your panel. Please put your hands together for them. A big thank you to all the speakers on stage. Thank you very much.